What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and this one of course is up against the new total farming event for the month, which is going to be versus Kozuki ODEN. And very briefly, before we actually get into the team comps, just want to discuss this event in general. This is actually one of those really a difficult type of total farming events where you probably want to just auto the lower difficulty one, but I will show you guys a few teams that can actually get through this. And the thing is it's very ideal to get through it if you have a friend captain of Rayleigh and Gaban. They just carry you through this. So if you cannot find a friend captain, which is going to be difficult because most people are deciding to skip this Sugo Fest despite how good that character actually is. So if you can't find a friend captain, it's better to just farm the lower stamina, and it's pretty easy to do that. Like you can do it with just running the max boosters on your team, run the game on auto, and you'll clear it automatically. So you can do that. Also, there is going to be Chopman missions related to the total farming event. It's definitely worthwhile to go ahead and do this because there are going to be some pretty good rewards by doing it, including this one right here. If you collect 400 turtles from the event, you're going to acquire one of the super evolution skills for Monkey D. Luffy, talking about quick final tap Luffy. So if you want to go ahead and do that, I highly advise to do it because his 6+ is very strong. But of course, there's level limit break posters. I think there's 50 gems in total if you account for all of the rewards. It's pretty worthwhile to go ahead and do this. And of course, you get your hands on the new free-to-play character, which is going to be ODEN. We don't know where he's going to be useful yet, but typically these point booster characters are very good for the treasure map, so we'll have to wait and see how this character is going to be implemented there. As for what ODEN does himself, we did briefly discuss him in a video a couple of days ago, but he is a Dex / a free spirit. Not a very good captain, unfortunately, but his special ability will allow you to remove 2 turns of paralysis and chain reduction, as well as giving himself a guaranteed Wano slot, and then changes Dex, Slasher, and free spirit characters' block slots only into tandem. So it is unfortunate that he doesn't just give you a full board of slots. He does at least give himself a guaranteed Wano slot and base attack boost to the classes and colors, but then he has double special launch, and if you launch his special again, you remove an additional turn of paralysis and also chain reduction. So it's essentially 5 turns of paralysis and chain reduction, which is it's okay. It's not the best special in the game. He's just fine. Unfortunately, no good support effect. His crewmate ability does make tandem slots matching to Dex and Psi, but I mean, tandem slots matching is very easy to acquire, and his Rumble kit isn't really amazing either. So this is honestly one of the weaker total farming event characters, but I just wanted to give you guys all of the information regarding this event before we actually break down the different fights and the different teams that I have for you guys in this video. Jumping into the first team that we have here, this is going to be my farming team, and luckily, of course, we did pull the Shanks and the Buggy from the Sugo Fest, of course, and the Shanks and Buggy are kind of interesting in this one, where the Shanks you want to be using on stage 4 if you have him, so that when you hit the 3 perfects on stage 4, you will get the mass defense reduction when you reach the final stage against ODEN. And with Buggy, the way that you want to use him, you want to actually use him on the final stage, as he removes 4 turns of damage threshold, which the final boss ODEN will actually have. Now, Rayleigh and Gaban are the most ideal captain here because their captain ability will remove attack down by 10 turns. You get inflicted with 3 turns of it on stage 3, and you get inflicted with, I believe it's 7 turns of it on stage 5. So by having them as the captain, you can just completely ignore that attack down whenever it's inflicted. Their switch ability is really powerful for stage 3 as well, allowing you to remove 1 turn of paralysis and also 1 turn of bind. And then we're able to use their super switch to get the chain boost as well as the minor attack boost and stuff for the versus Whitebeard stage on stage 4. Now for this team here, you can see we are using Sugar, we're using Luffy. The main reason why they're on the team is because they do have more drops given to us. They're one of the higher boosters to be using in this quest. And Roger as a captain is also really good because obviously good synergy with Rayleigh and Gaban, but obviously because they have the captain ability that can resist despair. So we don't have to worry about despair or attack down with this captain combination. Moving on now to the second team. This team definitely could be refined a little bit more, but I wanted to get this team out for you guys. And the thing that's kind of annoying is, even though on the final stage ODEN has threshold and increased defense, but he doesn't have a defense down immunity, so you can actually reduce the enemy's defense, which is why I wanted to use Robin, and being able to get a conditional boost out of that, I thought it would be a good idea. But one thing that we kind of found out in this quest is that the defense up on the final stage is actually a little bit more significant than we thought. So even though, you know, Robin does technically work, it's not a great option, unless if you have a really solid way to get matching slots. You can see we are using the ODEN character on the crew here. You can get him just by playing the low stamina, basically like one time with boosters. You'll be fine. You should be able to get him quite simply. I'm not a big fan of using the Zora here, but he's like the only character that's a relatively high booster that gets rid of despair pretty comfortably, because I wanted to use Sugar as the captain instead. And by using Sugar, this is level limit break, so we do get the full board of slots, and we're not changing all the characters into toy bears, because we actually want to use certain specials on the final stage. Of course, we want to use Shanks to remove the damage threshold, and he also gives us a chain boundary, which is pretty solid. And then obviously we have Robin for the conditional boost. We also have access to the super type of Sugar, which will give our 40 cost or less an orb boost, which is pretty fantastic. The thing here is though, is that it is a little RNG, because only ODEN will get a matching slot. We do actually luckily get a matching slot on the friend captain here, because they were given a block slot. So you can definitely refine this team a little bit better. Definitely replacing ODEN with something that can probably generate you a full board of slots will be much more ideal in this case here. But despite all that, you know, it actually did work, but not the most amazing team out there. The final team here is actually a very good team. We're using some pretty neat support characters to enable us to get around certain mechanics, more notably the Onami attached to Sanji. So on the final stage, when we use Sanji special, after using Luffy special of course, we can get the defense reduction on the enemy. So that's a really good way to get around it. Also, once again, using Shanks to get around the damage threshold on the final stage. ODEN as a basic stat stick, who is a dex character that can do really good damage. And then Yamato is a very solid option as a captain in this quest, as she has the ability to remove the despair that gets inflicted on the Whitebeard stage here. Plus, the special ability of Yamato generates you some Wano slots, which you can keep over to the next stage, so long as you have a way to lock those slots, which you can do quite simply with the Dex Jinbei from the treasure map shop, being able to lock your free spirit characters slots for one turn. And despite the fact that the tandem slots that we have on our crew will be shuffled, the Wano slots will be kept, so that is a really good way to get around this quest. You know, because you do use Sanji as the sub, we actually get a full board of tandem when we start the quest, so it's actually very easy to charge Yamato's versus effect. So realistically, you don't actually need the support that is attached to Luffy in this quest, which is the damage reduction support. You could definitely replace that with whatever you want, but overall, a pretty solid team that can get through this quest without too many issues. The final clip of this video is just going to be using the same team that I used in the first one, but it's just going to show you guys how you can quite simply auto this lower stamina quest. This is the 30 stamina quest, and you can just really just auto it with whatever you want. You can get through it very, very fast, actually. If you are paying attention, you can just let the game run for you, and when you get to the last stage, you can just use both Roger specials, and it will completely KO the final boss, which actually is really, really nice way to win the content. That is going to wrap it up from me, though. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.